before she became a billionaire, before her products appeared on shelves around the world, before her story inspired an entire generation of entrepreneurs. Sara Blakely was a 27-year-old door-to-door salesperson living in a tiny apartment, driving a used car, and wondering if she would ever do something meaningful with her life. She had failed the LSAT twice. She'd auditioned for Disney World and didn't get the part. Every path she tried seemed to shut down instantly. She wasn't special. She wasn't connected. She wasn't wealthy. But what she did have was a problem almost every woman she knew faced, and the willingness to actually solve it. One night, while getting dressed for a party, she pulls on white pants. Nothing looks right. Again. The fabric clings in all the wrong places. She feels uncomfortable, frustrated, out of options. So she grabs a pair of scissors and cuts the feet off her pantyhose. And suddenly, the fabric sits perfectly, smooth, clean, a silhouette she'd never seen before. She looks in the mirror and whispers, "Why doesn't this exist?" For most people, that would be the end of it. A moment of curiosity, a funny story they'd tell a friend. But Sara does something different. She decides to chase the idea, even though she has absolutely no clue how. That's when the real story begins. She starts calling factories across the United States, one after another, and every single one tells her no. Some are polite, some laugh, some hang up before she finishes explaining. She gets rejected so many times she memorizes the pattern of disappointment in each voice. But there's a reason she doesn't give up. Sara grew up with a father who asked her one question every day at dinner. What did you fail at today? Failure wasn't something to fear. It was something to pursue. So she keeps dialing. And then one day, the phone rings. A small factory owner from Georgia calls her back. He says, "My daughters heard your idea, and they think it's smart. Let's give it a try." Not because he believed, but because young women understood instantly what the product could be. That single yes becomes the seed of an empire. But she still has another problem. Sara can't afford a lawyer, so she buys a book called How to Write a Patent, sits at her kitchen table for weeks, and writes the entire thing herself. Diagramming, sketching, rewriting, until the application is complete. No investors, no advisors, no experience, just grit. When she finally gets her first working prototypes, she drives to Dallas, walks into Neiman Marcus, and asks the store director for 10 minutes. The director agrees, reluctantly. In the store's bathroom, Sara does a live demo. One leg with her new shapewear, one leg without. The change is obvious, instant, undeniable. The director looks at her and says, "I want it." And with that, Spanx becomes real. Orders begin to arrive. But a few months later comes the moment no entrepreneur can ever prepare for. A major television personality tries her product, loves it, and shares it publicly with millions of viewers. What happens next is chaos. Phones ring nonstop. Factories struggle to keep up. Boxes pile to the ceiling. Sara is doing customer service, packing orders, answering emails, all at once. This is no longer a small idea born in a bathroom. It's a movement. Years later, Spanx reaches a $1 billion valuation. And incredibly, Sara still owns 100% of the company. She never took outside funding, never diluted her ownership, never handed her idea to someone else. She built everything from a $5,000 gamble and relentless belief. But the part no one sees is this. After all the noise, all the orders, all the headlines, there's a moment where she stands alone, looking out at the city she once felt invisible in. She doesn't see wealth, she doesn't see fame, she sees the younger version of herself, scared, lost, rejected, who decided to try one more time. And that's the real lesson. You don't need permission, you don't need perfect timing, you don't need credentials. You need the courage to begin and the stubbornness to continue when everything around you says stop. If stories like this push you forward, hit subscribe, because